Today we're looking at the Honor 8 Pro, the latest Honor series by Huawei. These phones are targeted at the gaming market, and it boasts a 4000 mAh battery to power the strong RAM that they have, 6GB of RAM. And of course the sector that we're looking at here is on the gaming sector, and that's why the screen size is 5.7 with a large RAM, with a large battery. Hopefully they can capture this gaming market. Let's take a look into the unboxing of the phone. When you unbox the phone, what you get is the body of the phone outright, and then inside it you will get the standard literature, you get the pin holder, and you get the very interesting USB Type-C, which is the latest charging mechanism for Android phones. It's worth to note that the earphones are standard. I wouldn't say that it's great, but it's well enough for you to survive if you are taking the train or if you're driving or whatever. It's actually quite sufficient. Nothing special in the unboxing department. On the body itself, the 5.7-inch screen, if you flip it around, you get the near to 7mm body. It's well rounded at the edges. On the left side, you get the USB tray. Behind it, you get the very clean body. We have the 12-megapixel camera at the back with two-tone flash. There's also the fingerprint sensor. It's worth to note that the fingerprint sensor's body is well embossed into the body of the phone. The color is also the same, and it is well made in terms of the fit and retrofit into the hand. On the other side, you can see the volume rocker and the on and off wake button. The latest Honor 8 Pro is an interesting phone for me. It is actually quite beautiful. It's actually very sleek, rounded at the edges, slim dimensions. The flushed aluminum body right at the well-rounded edges actually is quite interesting to speak of. It's flat, unlike the latest Samsung GS8 phones or the touted iPhone 8 phone. But you know, we know that this phone is for the gaming sector, so you don't need any curves or curvature of the screen. Flat screens are great for gamers. The phone is solid and it has good grip, and I've tried it with one-handed use. I think it's quite okay for one-handed use, I suppose, but because of the large screen size at 5.7 inch, you would probably be more comfortable with a two-handed approach. And of course, the Honor 8 Pro is a bigger version of its predecessor, which is the Honor 8. And it does have very strong improvements in the camera department, in the processor department, and on the display department as well. The Quad HD display is an absolute treat since I've played with it. I currently use a very different phone. It's a small phone, and for me to watch movies and TV shows, it is quite small, so to watch TV shows on this particular phone is quite great. And again, I have to emphasize, because of the large battery size, watching the TV shows and watching movies or YouTube even on this phone is actually quite a treat and quite a delight. The resolution runs at 1440 by 2560, putting the pixel per inch at 515. This is a whopping 500 ppi image density. Viewing is a pleasure, and giving plenty of details for videos and photos would be amazed. You would be impressed with the brightness level. You would be able to yield quite good screen viewing, and of course the reflective of the screen is actually quite okay. I wouldn't say that this is the best phone for display out there in the market, but for the price that you're paying for, this is absolutely a treat. And of course, there's this mode that you can switch to, which is the eye comfort mode that filters out some blue light and it gives some sort of a tint. I don't know, we've played with the iPhone, night vision, especially when you play your phone at night. I don't know whether this gives a change. For me, it doesn't really do that much. But if it works for you, the yellowish tint, then, at least it saves battery power, I suppose. It supports fast charging, and with 30 minutes of charging, the battery level for me hit the 30% mark. For me, full charging takes about 3 hours. So I don't know whether the USB Type-C fast charging claim that Huawei is making actually meets the mark. But if it's at dead 0 to 100 takes 3 hours, I suppose it's industry standard. The minimal use of the smartphone using the day. Okay, this is great. You don't have to walk around with a power bank. The 4000 mAh battery power gives you quite the power that needs to be done. If performance is what you need, then Honor 8 Pro is exactly the phone for you. It packs the high silicon Kirin 960 octa-core processor. You can actually see this on other phones such as the P10, the Mate 9, and largely because you need this kind of processor to manage the kind of images that you take with the cameras. If you pair this with the 6GB of RAM and the 64GB internal storage, you would be having a formidable phone to play with. The phone, while it packs a 64GB internal storage, it is expandable with a microSD card. The brochure says up to 256GB, and again, this is fantastic for your memory for the phone. You would expect to take nice pictures with this smartphone. You would expect outdoor images to be great. You would expect the dual camera setup for the monochrome sensor and many others to be very great, but they are not Leica lenses. They are not the top-of-the-line lenses. So don't be surprised if some of the pictures that you take, particularly under low light setting, might not be great. And of course, this phone supports a 12-megapixel camera. It runs with a f/0.9 aperture to f/16. It looks great for portrait shots. It looks great for background shots. I'm not too sure low light pictures and low light cameras would do well, but outdoor shots would be a great stuff to take with. The 8-megapixel front camera is also quite important to have these days. Everybody takes a selfie, and you do not have that function where you can take panorama functions with the front camera. But having said that, I'm sure there are apps out there that enable you to do so. So if you take a picture of someone and you create a 3D version, and this is very fantastic because you have the 3D creator mode in its camera function. And the Honor 8 Pro comes with a VR cardboard viewer if you are into the virtual reality game, and if you're a VR enthusiast, you would be looking into that with a big smile on your face. You can watch 360 videos on this phone. You don't need a view card sensor, and all in all, it would be a great phone to play with. The Honor 8 Pro, conclusion, solid smartphone, good features. It has all the good things that you need. Fantastic camera for photographers in it. It has a good video ability, and the price tag, however, is quite tricky because it sells or retails at close to 2,000 ringgit. Or 1,999 price tag, and I don't know whether this actually justifies everything that the phone offers, but to put it mildly, I think that I can actually part with 2,000 ringgit for such a phone. It's a hard sell, but I probably would have it.